Alright, today we're going to take the classic Suzaku APC for a spin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play 3 games with the original deck. Then I'm going to talk about why the original deck isn't great in this metagame, and I'm going to make some adjustments, and then we're going to play 2 different versions of the updated Suzaku APC that I think is what you should be playing in this meta if you want to play Suzaku APC. And then we'll play some games with the updated decks as well. And then if I'm really smart, I'll remember not to edit out where I discuss why Suzaku APC is weak in this metagame. But we will see if I'm smart enough to remember to do that. It'd be super awkward if I didn't. Maybe I'll discuss in-game. I'm sure I can remember to edit properly in this one. I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright, so we're gonna play some Suzaku APC. So I guess I'll talk through a little bit why Suzaku APC isn't great in this metagame as well. The biggest issue with Suzaku APC in this metagame is that everyone plays heavy infantry now. Like, rifles are not very popular. Now, rifles being not very popular makes rifles bad. Because, this is reason number 1, you see this? I have to use 2 rifles to fight his shocks. That works out okay the first time it happens. But now what do? He now has 4 shock troopers, as in 4 models. What do I do against these? Like, this is the issue, right? Like, look at this. I have to tech switch. You literally have to tech switch. You can't keep using rifles against shocks. It just doesn't work. Because you will just get overwhelmed, so you have to switch. And what do you switch to? You can either go Drone Swarm, which is terrible versus GDI, because GDI has the best anti-air in the game. They have Pitbull and Slingshot. Or you can go APC. APC is incredibly expensive. So trying to switch into an APC as like your 3rd unit, that's kind of nonsense. So this is why this is the main reason Suzaku APC isn't very good right now. Your anti-infantry just isn't great. Also, the Drone Swarm just isn't that good. Look at it. It takes forever for a Drone Swarm to kill a Shock Trooper. Literally forever. We've been here for like an hour to kill this fucking Shock Trooper. So this is a huge problem for Suzaku APC. Everyone has heavy infantry. And Suzaku APC is absolutely appalling at killing heavy infantry. Like, just abysmal. It has no units that kill heavy infantry anymore. It used to be okay until the APC got the nerf. Like, you could tide yourself over with Drone Swarm until APC came out. But then, but now the APC got hammered in the dick and isn't very good anymore. That's a huge problem for this deck. It really struggles to kill heavy infantry in a reasonable time frame. The other issue is that Slingshot, super popular now, and one of the things this deck is one of the things this deck did that it was like known for is spamming light air at the pads near the end of the missile. That doesn't work against a Slingshot. It is absolutely shut down by 1 Slingshot. Like, a single Slingshot means you can no longer use your air at all. Like, it's just worthless. You can't use Drone Swarm even a little bit. The unit is just completely useless. So this makes it very difficult for you to kill infantry anymore. Like, I have to fight heavy infantry and I can't use my Drone Swarms, and I can't use rifles because they don't kill heavy infantry. So what do I have left? I have just APC, which costs 90 and got a huge nerf. So this is why Suzaku APC is quite bad in this metagame. It's because everyone plays heavy infantry and the deck is pretty bad against heavy infantry. As you can see, like, we are winning this game, but it's a struggle. And we have barely any money, and we've had to make like 4 APCs. And the opponent didn't have a good answer to APC. Like, he used Iron Cannon to clear my APCs. So his deck was terrible versus APC, and it was still a struggle. So this is why Suzaku APC is not good in this metagame. Mostly because heavy infantry is absolutely everywhere. But after we've played a few games with the Suzaku APC, we'll talk about the switches you can make for a modern metagame Suzaku APC deck.
3, 2, 1. New objective.
Leadhead. I actually think that, I've said this a lot on stream, I don't know how much I've talked about it in my YouTube videos. I think that shocks and flames being really good is very bad for the game. I think it hurts the diversity of the decks a lot. Because once you have to be able to kill all the really expensive heavy infantry all the time, the number of anti-infantry units you can play in your deck drops significantly. Like, there's so many anti-infantry units that are not really that playable anymore. Maybe I should have gone Pitbull here. Yeah, I should have gone Pitbull here because this Orca is way too slow. Yeah, there's a bunch of units that you can't really play anymore because they don't kill the heavy infantry fast enough.
Defense online. Unit lost.
Yeah, this was a big misplay. This is a big misplay to try and go Orca.
Unit lost.
It's gonna be close if we're gonna hold on this missile.
Defense lost.
Harvest is gonna take a beating whilst I'm trying to defend against the chuggies as well.
Unit lost. Missile cancelled.
Not looking good, boys. Not looking good.
Unit lost.
We've managed to protect our harvester at least. If I could have afforded an Orca before the first missile was going to fire, that would have been great, but since we were not remotely close, it's been a bit of a problem. Can I get the block? I think we get there. Man, that was a really expensive missile though. We lose our harvester for sure as well, because it's on like 1 hit point.
Unit lost.
Let's see if I can protect it. Alright, cool. We are going to lose it eventually, but the more money we can make him spend trying to kill it, the better.
Lost. Unit
So I want him to keep throwing units at it.
Unit ready.
I'm glad he didn't go Banshee. If he'd gone Banshee, we would have been screwed in that missile.
Unit ready.
Moved the missile forward to make sure his bikes couldn't retaliate. Like, I was fine sacrificing the missile to try and kill the chuggy. Here come the bikes. That's going to be my harvester dead.
Defense
Maybe I can save it.
online.
It's going to be close. Nah, we saved it. Spent another 40 doing it, but that's okay. Hey, there's the Banshee. A little late to the party, my guy. Yeah, this guy could not beat missiles, apparently. Also, got the blue balls on the harvester, which has to just be the worst.
Defense lost. You are victorious. 3.
Yeah, as I was saying at the start of that previous game, before my opponent so rudely interrupted me by trying to win,
Online.
the heavy infantry,
Unit ready.
I think, is a big issue, because, like, so many anti-infantry units become unplayable because they aren't good enough at killing.
Unit ready.
They aren't good enough at killing shocks and flames. Which means you have to play, like, heavy tier 2 anti-infantry units in all of your decks. That's why so many decks have, like, 3 anti-infantry units these days. Because you have to have, like, multiple ways to shut down shocks and flames. Because if you play, like, just Razorback and your opponent has shock sling, you're dead. If you play just Sniper and your opponent has Razorback, you're dead.
Unit lost.
If you play just Shock Trooper and your opponent has... I guess if you play just Shock Trooper, you end up in, like, infinite Shock Trooper mirrors. Which, again, if you fall behind in the Shock Trooper mirror, you're just dead.
Unit lost.
So there's, like, a lot of ways
Online.
that it's bad. I actually think with this deck, against nods, it's fine to go helipad after barracks. Against GDI, you really want to try and get into your war factory instead. Against nod, I think it's okay to go air tower first, maybe even encourage. This guy went double halve though, so I didn't want to go air tower really. I wanted to get an APC because it's much harder to clear an APC. Like, even if he gets a tech unit soon, it's going to be much harder to clear an APC. Oh shit, it's an artillery. I guess I can theoretically beat an artillery. If I get an Orca close to it, I can theoretically beat it. I also have the APC on it, which then turns into missiles. And the missiles might finish it off.
Unit ready.
Yeah, nice. That's huge. We actually need to keep the Orca around and loaded. Because we need to be able to beat a second artillery coming out. Like, at short notice. Because he's going to pop another artillery soon. So I actually think I shouldn't try and kill his harvester. I think I should instead try to keep my Orca loaded and ready to go in case he makes another artillery. Alright, nice. Out-microed his Phantom there pretty hard. I don't care if I lose the Orca now, the game's over. The Phantom, like, the Orca only mattered in case he popped an artillery. Once his first Phantom dies, it doesn't matter anymore.
Objective complete.
Okay, so let's talk about how to update the deck. I think that the 2 ways that you can build the deck, if you want to maintain the core of the deck, the most obvious and straight upgrade is this. Just switch from Drone Swarm to Razorback. It makes the deck more expensive, it forces you to play barracks for longer, but it gives you a really heavy hitting anti-infantry unit, so you actually can clear heavy infantry reliably. You can also now go War Factory, you can go Air Tower much more reliably, because you can just play Missile Razorback, which is a lot better than Missile Drone. It slows down your War Factory massively, but you don't have to go War Factory. You can fairly reliably just play Barracks and Air Tower all the time. Still not great versus Shock Sling. No, it is not good versus Shock Sling, but then neither is this, right? Like, the original deck is also horrendous against Shock Sling. The other thing I think you can do that's a reasonable upgrade is you need to get Shocks into your deck. So again, you have heavier anti-infantry. The problem with this is it makes your opening a little awkward. So I think Dog into Drone Swarm makes the most sense. You are still at your core and APC deck, but this one feels a lot different. So what we're going to do first is we're going to play just the Razorback switch. And we'll play a few games with this, then we'll play the Dog switch, and you guys can see both decks in action, all three variants. Or are we talking about something else?
3, 2, 1. New objective.
What am I playing? I'm playing Razorback, right? Or against Eragon, sure.
Harvester ready.
Time to harvest. Interesting. He's gone laser and he's sending them upwards for some reason. I don't know where those are going. Oh, hyping up games? Sure. And there's the Flamer. We need to retreat and try and get a Concave. I'll get a third rifle because this one's busy. I think... Can we attack with free rifle? I don't even know if free rifles can attack into a Flamer. Interesting that he went laser. I guess he wasn't expecting me to make another rifleman. He probably thought I'd tech switch there. Ah, but he was wrong. I was happy to simply make another rifleman. Is he not making... He's not making a Flamer. Now that's odd. Like, Flamers beat rifles. I don't know why... I don't think you need to... I guess he's just, like, worried about continuously running into Concave. This is really bad for him, though, because I was able to just immediately go Walker. So now he's, like, really far behind. Now he still hasn't been able to beat the rifles. So now he can't really make Buggy again, so he's going to have to make the Flames. At which point it's like, you might as well just started with the Flames, right? Yeah, there's the Flames. So you might as well just started by making the Flames instead of switching into the Buggy tech. This is why I hate laser opening, by the way. What's happening here? This is a great example of why I hate laser opening with Flamer. Like, look how bad it is. If you just get out-tempoed by the rifles, it's so awkward. I haven't had to do anything. I'm so far ahead on money as well, because all I've done is just make Rifleman and a single Orca. And I've beaten everything he's made so far. Now I can switch into the APC. I could even make the Razorback if I wanted to. I'll let the Orca shoot, because it'll fill it off. Yeah, there you go. Where can I turret? I can turret here. That's a pretty good turret. It sounds good to me. We'll have to fly this over. I'll make sure we don't lose the missile, but that's fine. Then we just make a Razorback because that'll sweep across the map. Kill everything. Yeah, nice and easy. Nice and clean win. And this is why laser opening sucks. This game is a great example of why laser opening is terrible. You just get out-tempoed by the Rifleman and you never catch back up.
Mission accomplished. Establishing battlefield control.
Eragon again, but this time not a challenge match.
3, 2, 1. New objective received.
I wonder if he's going to adjust his build. He's probably going to open Buggy, right? That would be the most sensible thing.
Online.
I don't know why he didn't open Buggy anyway. Like, if he has Buggy in his deck, why are you opening Laser? He's definitely opening Buggy. He's got a Barracks and a War Factory. This was preemptive. I shouldn't have done this. Like, I said this a while ago. I was saying on stream. I don't think I said it in this video. I don't like pre-building units, because if your opponent sees the pre-built unit and just doesn't build the unit you built to counter, then it's terrible. That's like a really bad outcome. Or if you're just wrong and then you have a dead unit on the field, that's also a really bad outcome. I'm happy to stall because I just want to go into this Orca or Razorback. I think I'll go Orca first, because if I make the Orca I can use my rifles to kill the lasers. It's really difficult to use a Buggy to kill Rifleman if there's an Orca around, because the Orca kills so quickly. Although having said that, this has not gone very smoothly for me. The Flamers are a bit of an issue. Oh my god, what is happening? My Orca Micro is terrible. Alright, let's go Razorback and hope it's quick enough.
Unit lost. Defense online.
I don't know if that Orca's gonna live. Oh yeah, it is. He was shooting the Razorback instead. I am a-okay with that. I needed to move my Orca back so it didn't get shot by the Buggy. Now we should win the missile.
Defense lost.
Let's make another Orca, I can afford it. Uh-oh. Banshee is pretty bad for me. Banshee is really bad for me, actually.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
This did not go that smoothly. I wasn't that happy with how this went. Especially now as a flamer. I think I blocked the flamer out and we're fine. Yeah, alright, cool. It was not very smooth though. Turret was a huge deal in that missile. Turret was MVP. I think did we turret twice? I feel like we might have even turreted twice. I would really like to switch into APC at this point. Man, he is really hunting down that orca, isn't he? Oh no, my mistake. He's trying to attack my harvester, of course. It was silly of me to think anything else was happening, honestly. Maybe he just gave up on attacking the orca because it was so far back. Just feels like, I mean, you just lost a bunch of missiles there. Like, was that worth it? Feels like pretty bad tempo. Like, the economy isn't that big a deal because they're so cheap, but it feels like pretty bad tempo to lose out on all those. Lose out on all those units. Well, the way the pop cap system works is if you're constantly regenerating for another unit, that's way better than cycling. Like, you will end up with more. You'll end up with like +1 unit eventually if you are. If you're killing a bunch of units and keeping yours alive, you'll end up at +1 unit eventually. Like, rather than just cycling through units. So you end up with more units by you do end up with slightly more units by keeping them alive. Also, I have all this money, so I can just spam expensive units now. I can use my commander power as much as I want, whereas he hasn't used his commander power at all. Alright, cool.
Enemy base destroyed. 3, 2, 1. New objective received.
For what it's worth, I think if it does exist, it's extremely uncommon. I also think that the advantage gained from not having Fog of War would be absolutely minimal in Rivals. So I don't think it's extremely uncommon that you would lose a game because someone didn't have Fog of War. Like, that is not a big advantage in Rivals, really. Alright, so we're going to play the third build of the deck now, which is the one with Shock Trooper. Running down this dog is super fun, man. I'm having a really good time. Absolutely miserable. MLRS. Okay, I'm still playing Orca, right? Yeah, I'm still playing Orca. I shouldn't have built the air tower because now the dog sees the air tower and he's retreated immediately. Sling. I guess we'll just go in and kill it.
Building online.
The Orca Sling matchup is so awkward for Orca because you kill a Sling, that's fine. Sometimes you kill a Sling, sometimes you don't even get the Sling. Sometimes you kill it, and then they just make another one immediately. And your Orca can never ever go in because it's on like 1 hit point after fighting the Slingshot. So it's a really awkward matchup. It really does not favor the Orca player, even though the Orca technically can 1v1 the Sling. It's like really bad for the Orca. Luckily we were able to kill the second Sling without engaging it with air. Now we're miles ahead. He also pulled his halve, which made no sense, and oh, he has 2 of them. That's why he pulled halve. He's just pulling one of his 2 harvesters. Okay, that makes more sense, I guess. We'll just make more Orcas then. I think I will once again just do this. I'm gonna park this outside his base as well, in case he just immediately makes another Sling. Then he went dogs short. See, that's what happens, right? Like the Orca goes in, gets the kill, but then immediately dies to the second one, which puts you kind of like not that far. You're like up 10 tib, but you're down tempo, so yeah, it's not great. Anyway, double half, not great. Easy win.
You are victorious. 3, 2, 1. New objective available.
Junimaru, isn't this the guy we just played?
Building online.
Oh no, it was something different, right?
Unit ready.
Do you think Tib hacks exist? Tib hacks definitely do not exist. Tib Tib hacks definitely don't exist. Anything that modifies the game for both players can't possibly exist. Because you will have a desync. If you have anything that modifies the game for both players, there'll be a desync and it won't work. So anything that increased your unit speed or anything that gave you more money, these cannot possibly exist. Because the game would not make sense from both players' perspectives anymore. Like the way the game works, if one person's unit was moving faster than it's supposed to, then on the other person's client, it would be moving at normal speed, and then the game would desync when the unit was in the wrong position. So no, tib hacks, speed hacks, these things can't exist. Because if your opponent had a tib hack and went to like negative Tiberium, then when you watch the replay, you'd also see them at negative Tiberium, and the game would desync. Because you can't have the game synchronized if one person is at negative Tiberium. So no, I know for a fact those things can't exist. If they did exist, well, that's not entirely true. They can technically exist, but if you use them, every single game you play will result in a desynchronization. If every single game you play results in a desynchronization, then your trust rating plummets, and the game will automatically award the win to the other player every single game you play. So technically, I think you could have tib hacks, but you'd be able to win like 3 games, and then from then on, your account would be compromised, and you'd never win another game again. So it wouldn't be very useful. So I guess technically tib hacks might exist, but they'd be shit. Like, they would basically be a lose hack. Like, they would guarantee you'd lose every game you play. So they might exist, but they wouldn't be very useful.
Major structural damage received.
Because we had some situations with desynchronizations in the past, where games desynced because of people being on the wrong patch. Like this has happened in the past in Rivals, where you've had games where one person's client isn't properly updated, and so they're playing on a different patch effectively. And what happens is, after the game ends, it's a desync. Like the game crashes and it goes, the game is not synchronized because one person's stuff doesn't make sense in the context of the other person's stuff. And if you do this several times, then you will receive a bad trust rating, and then you will lose every game you play automatically. So yeah, it's not good. Like those kind of hacks would not be good. Also, I'm going to lose this game because I have not been paying attention. I've been trying to explain the desyncs, so now I'm dead. Yeah, actually I'm going to lose because I've been chatting too much. Maybe this Orca goes there in time? Just about. I don't know if that's enough to save me the game. Oh, hang on. Did we win? Oh, insane. I can't believe I won that. Absolutely outrageous. So yeah, any hack that would affect... Any hack that would be clear in a replay, like speed hack, tib hack, missile timing hack, any of those nonsense, they will always cause a desync. And then the game will say the game was... Like, at the end, it'll have a pop-up being like the game was desynchronized. And it'll say one player has been awarded a win. So if you had these hacks, you could maybe get like 1 or 2 wins out of them before your account was basically bricked and you lost every single game you played from then on.
3, 2, 1. New objective received.
Bottom.
Building online.
There is no denying my genius.
How you doing?
Classic wheel versus dog opening. So the issue with this build is you open War Factory, which means that you can't go air tower barracks. You can't go air tower barracks against Nod, which is what you want to do. So that, I think, is one of the issues with this build. Because like against Nod, you would actually prefer to go into your air tower, but you have basically nothing in the air tower because you only have the Orca. This deck also does not really feel like Suzaku APC. Like it's quite a different deck because obviously you switch 2 units out. The way the deck plays is also different. Like switching units out can sometimes still have the deck feel pretty much the same. This changes the texture of the deck quite a lot.
Building online.
This is a problem because I have too many units. I cannot make Shock Trooper.
Unit lost.
Alright, cool. This is fine then. I don't care if my doggos die. We'll get the shocks on the pad. We'll do the turret as well. No, he didn't move in. Interesting.
Missile launched.
So I guess that's a reasonable play. You don't want to just suicide the mutant to buy time, right? If you don't think you can win the missile, it makes sense to preserve your mutants, actually. Like, you don't want to just sack them off. Now, I have previously lost quite a bit with the old shock pitbull to mutant chuggy, so I'm going to immediately go Orca here. Reminds me of the Entsorger deck where I kept losing until I until I learned to switch into the Mohawks. I was really struggling with chuggy mutant. So I'm gonna just immediately go air this time. I don't mind if he wants to shoot my pitbull with his stank because it doesn't kill it. That's absolutely fine. Stank is a really expensive unit as well and a big threat against my Orca. So it being off the field is good for me. It's also expensive enough that it's not just like a tempo kill. If you kill like a bike squadron, it doesn't do anything, right? Your opponent just makes another bike squadron immediately. You don't really gain anything out of it. If you kill a stealth tank, then that stealth, like, it's going to be a while until they make another stealth tank unless you're losing badly on economy.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Yeah, I couldn't click my Orca to retarget. The APC did a great job though. We killed a lot of stuff there.
Defense.
I'm gonna put the turret down because I misplayed my Orca there. Now I'm broke. See, Orca, similar to stealth tank. I made Orca and I've made some APCs. I cannot afford a new Orca. Although to be fair, I've made too many APCs is the main issue here. Like, I should really have been able to afford another Orca, but I've overbuilt APCs. Alright, let's get an Orca now. I don't know if you want to put your mutants in between two APCs. That's quite a lot of damage. APC got nerfed, but not that badly. Alright, sure. I think maybe he thought there was a cloud there. Yay. Another victory in the books.
A cerebral maneuver.
Mission accomplished.
Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that. We talked a little bit about deck theory as well, which was maybe interesting to you. Maybe you didn't care, I don't know. If you don't care about deck theory, you can mute me and just watch the games. And if you do like the deck theory, you can listen to it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time.